Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Leeds United, Manchester United preview. It's Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff at Ellen Road. It's the War of the Roses. Now we won our last game against Burnley 3-1. Weren't the best of performances by Manchester United. The goals came from Mason Greenwood, he scored 2. And Edison Cavani came off the bench and scored. And Burnley's goal came from Tarkowski. We've won our last 5 games in a row. Leeds United drew their last game with Liverpool 1-1. From a Leeds United perspective, they'd have been delighted with the draw. Not so long ago, they beat Manchester City 2-1. Leeds United have enjoyed a good season to their standards. It's been their first season in the Premier League since 2004. Because Leeds got relegated in 2004, they was out of the top flight for 16 years. Last season, Leeds won the Championship. That was their first trophy in 28 years. The last time we played at Ellen Road in the Premier League was 2004. We have won our last 3 meetings against Leeds. We've beaten them at Old Trafford earlier on this season, 6-2. That's one of the best games Man United have had this season. Scott McTominay was superb in that game. He got 2 goals. We beaten Leeds in pre-season 4-0 back in the summer of 2019, and we're beating them 3-0 at Ellen Road in the League Cup back in 2011. The last time Leeds beat us was in the FA Cup 3rd round. In January 2010, it was a goal from Jermaine Beckford. Leeds' current manager is Marcelo Bielsa. Good manager, to be honest with you. I think his current contract with Leeds expires soon. I don't think he's going to be signing a new contract. Bielsa has got a pretty good pedigree behind him. He used to manage in Argentina. Don't forget, a while ago now, he worked with Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola is following Marcelo Bielsa's philosophy at Manchester City. So Bielsa taught Pep Guardiola. Leeds have got some good players, that could cause us some problems on Sunday. Obviously, they've got Bamford. He's one of their best players. I think they got Bamford from Middlesbrough. They've also got Rodrigo. They got him last year from Valencia for £27 million. Hasn't done as well as a lot of, people expected. He's actually out with injury at the moment. Leeds have also got Llorente. He's quite good. He was injured earlier on this season. They've also got Rafinha, who's very, very good. He's actually been out with injury. I think they got Rafinha from, was it Rennes? Said earlier on this season that Manchester United were interested in him. They've also got Pablo Hernandez. He's a good player, but he hasn't really been getting in Leeds' team recently. They've got that Tyler Roberts as well. Calvin Phillips, he's also a very, very good midfielder. They've got Liam Cooper. I think he's actually suspended still because he did get sent off against Manchester City. Jack Harrison, he's also quite good, but he needs to improve his crossing. Luke Ayling's very good for Leeds. Alioski's also good. Stuart Dallas is very, very good as well. Leeds have got Adam Forshaw. He's actually out with injury, but he doesn't really get in Leeds' team anyway. Robin Koch, they've also got him. They brought him in last year. And their goalkeeper is Medjugorje. We've done business with Leeds before. Don't forget, a lot of years ago, we got Rio Ferdinand off them. We also got Eric Cantona off them. And Alan Smith came to Man United from Leeds. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference will be coming up today. I'll be giving you my reaction to his press conference. I'm expecting Solskjaer to make some changes from the 3-1 win against Burnley. The only players we've got out is obviously Anthony Martial. He's out. He sustained an injury whilst he was on international duty with France. Solskjaer confirmed earlier on this season that it's very likely that Martial is going to be out for the remainder of the season. Eric Bailly was out, but I don't think he's out now. Obviously, he was out with COVID. Solskjaer did say he hoped that Bailly could have featured against Burnley, but didn't feature against Burnley. Solskjaer did say that he is relaxed over Eric Bailly's future, and he did say that he was in contract talks with him. Because earlier on this season it said contract talks with Eric Bailly had been put on hold because he wants assurances over his playing time because he has lost his place in the team. Now earlier on this season it said that Bailly apologised to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his Man United teammates for his disrespectful behaviour because it said Bailly was furious with Solskjaer because he felt disrespected and not wanted at the club. And Bailly came out and said we're only offering him a new contract to simply increase his asking price. He's got 14 months left on his current contract. He is a good centre-half, Bailly. He's just too injury-prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. Phil Jones, obviously, he's still out with injury, but he doesn't get in our 11 anyway. Marcus Rashford, I think he's been out with a foot injury. So as far as I'm aware, they're the players that are missing for Manchester United. Akanashaw will finish in the top 4 in the league this season. We'll probably finish second. We are 11 points behind Man City. Man City recently beat Aston Villa 2-1. The title race is over, isn't it? You know, City are going to win the Premier League, but Solskjaer did say not so long ago, we'll never ever give up on the Premier League title. I'm expecting Manchester United to beat Leeds, to be honest with you, because we've been very, very good away from home. We are unbeaten in our last 23 Premier League away games. So we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We've been far better away from home than we have been at home. Our next game after Leeds is Roma in the Europa League semi-final. And that's going to be a massive game for Manchester United. We are aware of how much of a difficult game that's going to be against Roma. Not so long ago, Solskjaer spoke about Manchester United facing Roma in the Europa League semi-finals, and he said that Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat to Manchester United when we play them. It's 5 semi-finals in total now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We've got a very good chance of winning the Europa League, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. Because we haven't won a trophy since 2017, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. So if we fail to win the Europa League this season, that'd be exactly 4 years without a trophy. But it's already been made clear that Solskjaer will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League. So I can assure he will be Manchester United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season. But I've already said, Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at the club because progress has been made in certain aspects. A lot of Manchester United fans have criticised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and obviously a lot of United fans have been demanding him out. They've obviously got main explanations why they want him out of the club. But I presume there's still quite a lot of United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season. Next season will be his third full season at the club. He's been Manchester United manager over 2 years now. We appointed him in December 2018 to replace Jose Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The main explanation Man United giving the job permanently 2 years ago was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Because he did very well as the interim manager. He won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions, and he was the interim manager for 3 months. I'll stick to what I've said on my recent videos. I don't think Solskjaer's the long-term manager for Man United, but I hope I'm proven wrong. I think a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect, that he's not the long-term manager. But our board and that must think he's the long-term manager, because it said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. Is it the right decision by the club giving him that new contract? Solskjaer still has like a year left on his current 3-year contract. But Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson, there's no doubt about it, and is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. Like I've said to you, I do have my concerns about Solskjaer my two biggest concerns about him is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. That doesn't mean, though, he can't succeed at Man United. You know, before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. And don't forget, he managed a Man United reserve team for a couple of years, did Solskjaer, so he watched some of the team grow and develop. And my other concern is his decision making, because in a lot of his games at Man United, he has been tactically naive, especially in a lot of the big games this season. But there's been some games where he showed tactical flexibility. And in some of the big games, I like the way he has approached them. But there's also quite a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer. You know, we're in a good vein of form at the moment. But in general, we've enjoyed very good periods under Solskjaer where we have seen consistency. And in some of them good periods, he's got the best out of the team. You know, we are second in the Premier League. At one point, Solskjaer got us top of the Premier League. You know, got a very good away record in the Premier League as well. You know, Solskjaer has got us to the Europa League semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. You know, went on a 14-game unbeaten run before we lost 3-1 to Leicester in the FA Cup quarter-final. You know, last season Ollie did well. You know, last season was his first full season. He guided us to 3 semi-finals. Got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. You know, second highest we've finished since Ferguson. You know, Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. He's spent almost £300 million. So far, he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. He hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in, but he's still made good signings and he's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in as well. Solskjaer's beaten quite a few big name managers as Man United manager. You know, he's beaten Pep Guardiola quite a few times. He's beaten Mourinho twice, is it? He's beaten Brendan Rodgers a few times. He's beaten Carlo Ancelotti quite a few times. You know, beating Jurgen Klopp in the FA Cup, but has not yet beaten Jurgen Klopp in the Premier League. Beaten Thomas Tuchel twice, that's when Tuchel was PSG manager. Also beaten Julian Nagelsmann. So there's quite a few, isn't there? And I also like the way he has promoted the youth. You know, Solskjaer seems to have a lot of trustworthy in his young players. So there are the positives. You know, Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Some Man United fans think he's in a position that he shouldn't be really in, but when Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, he did assure everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and more or less everybody has been given their chances to express themselves. If Man United decided to sack Solskjaer eventually, it wouldn't really solve anything anyway, because when we have been inconsistent, not all of the blame has stemmed from him. Yeah, in certain aspects the blame stems from him, obviously. But obviously certain players in that have got to take responsibility as well. Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be. And Man United in general are aware as well. The summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window, because obviously we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. It was the right decision by the club getting a director of footballing, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes that we needed. And John Murtough is our first ever director of football. And we've got Darren Fletcher. He's our technical director. And obviously Woodward believes that Solskjaer's the right man to lead the club forward. He said that earlier on this season, and Woodward released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. And Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ollie, even when was enduring them really, really bad periods. And he said towards the end of last year that he'll back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. You know the news on Ed Woodward already. It got announced a few days ago that Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. He said that Woodward will stand down at the end of 2021. But recently he said that Woodward is expected to leave in the summer rather than the end of the year. Ed Woodward has had a 16-year association with the club. I presume all United fans, including me, are happy that he's announced he's resigned. Because we've been critical of Ed Woodward for a long time. Main explanations is because he hasn't backed any of the managers enough that we've had since Ferguson retired. Our recruitment has been very, very poor, and we've also overpaid for players. It got confirmed that he'd resigned after teams withdrew from the European Super League. The European Super League has now collapsed, which is very, very good news. I was very, very sceptical it was going to go ahead. But anyway, it did actually say that there's 5 candidates that Man United are looking at, who could replace Ed Woodward at the club. And it did say that Edwin van der Sar is the favourite to replace Ed Woodward. I think if we got Edwin van der Sar in, it'd be the right decision by the club because 1, Edwin van der Sar has got the experience. He's currently the chairman at Ajax at the moment and he's doing very, very well. And number 2, Edwin van der Sar knows Man United quite well because he endured 6 years at Man United. Obviously, as a goalkeeper, he was with us from 2005 to 2011. So they're the reasons. And don't forget, Van der Sar was linked with a technical director's role. Yesterday, I updated you on the Glazers and that, didn't I? He said yesterday that Manchester United fans were protesting against the Glazers at Carrington, and it said our fans had blocked entries into the Carrington training ground. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has actually defended the Glazers because he's told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. Now, there was banners and it said 51%, MUFC 20, Glazers out and we decide when we play. The Glazers recently said sorry. Joe Glazer recently released a statement and he apologised to Manchester United fans over the European Super League plans. The Glazers were planning to ditch the Champions League for this European Super League. I want the Glazers to sell Manchester United because we need new owners. The Glazers have been at the club since 2005, so they've been with us now like 16 years. I'll be giving you some more news anyway regarding the Glazers and that on my next video, and I'll be giving you an update on some transfer news to go with it. I hate the way the club has been run. I really, really do. So we need a new chairman and we need new owners. But revert back to what I said about the summer transfer window. Yeah, it's massive for Man United. In the summer transfer window, I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings. We may even make 5 signings. And I've identified the areas where we need to strengthen up. We need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre half. It said earlier on this season that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. In the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. You know? In the last 8 years, Manchester United have obviously been playing catch-up. You know, we've obviously sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies and getting a second place finish. I think it was in his first season, so you can say Mourinho enjoyed one good season at Man United. We hadn't only had different managers with different philosophies though. You know, we spent over £1 billion on players in the last 8 years as well. Must have brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired, and mistakes have been made as well in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. But no one is going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club. And no one's going to last as long as he did. You know, Ferguson enjoyed, 26, 27 year tenure at Man United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. So Ferguson brought success to the club, but he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, in regards to this European Super League, I'm glad it's not going ahead. You know, everyone was against it, apart from the owners. It's only the owners of clubs that wanted it to go ahead so they could generate more money. I think all clubs now have withdrawn from the European Super League. But it was earlier on this week, wasn't it? It came out from Sky Sports. It shocked everybody, and it just basically said that 12 clubs had agreed to join this new European Super League. 6 of them were English clubs. So yeah, like I said, on my next video, more news on the Glazers and the transfers, and then video after that, I'll be giving you my starting 11 prediction. Then I will be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.